Okay, now we come to the answers of this text, going digital. The statements say, do the following statements agree with the information in the passage? Write it true if the statement agrees with the information, false if the statement contradicts the information, that means gives wrong information, not given if there is no information on this. Number one, digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. Number two, all experts are permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Number three, the woodblock prints in Tokyo have been damaged by researchers. Number four, fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. Number five, people may be able to borrow digital materials from the library. Number six, digital libraries will occupy more space than ordinary libraries. And number seven, the cost of the newly published books will fall. Now let's answer them. Number one, digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. Let's come to the text. Electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison, but building them will not be easy. All over the world, libraries have begun the Herculean task of making faithful digital copies of the books, images, and recordings that preserve the intellectual effort of humankind. For armchair scholars, the work promises to bring such a wealth of information to the desktop that the presented internet may seem amateurish in retrospect. Digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. Let's come here. The worker promises to bring such a wealth of information to the desktop that the present internet may seem amateurish. That means a primitive, a retrospect. So the answer will be true because it gives the same meaning. The present internet may seem amateurish, and here it says digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. Let's move to 2. All experts are permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Libraries see three clear benefits to going digital. First, it helps them preserve rare and fragile objects without denying access to those who wish to study them. The British Library, for example, holds the only medieval manuscript of Beowulf in London. Only qualified scholars were allowed to see it until Kiev S. Kiernan of the University of Kentucky scanned the ancient manuscript with 3 different light sources, revealing details not normally apparent to the naked eye, and put the images up on the internet for anyone to peruse. All experts are permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. It will be false. Why? Because here it says the British Library, for example, holds the only medieval manuscript of Beowulf in London. Only qualified scholars were allowed to see it until Kiernan of the University of Kentucky scanned the ancient manuscript with 3 different light sources and put the images up on the internet for anyone to peruse. That means anyone can go through it. So number 2 will be false. 3. The woodblock prints in Tokyo have been damaged by researchers. Tokyo's National Docket Library is similarly creating detailed digital photographs of 1,236 woodblock prints, scrolls, and other materials it considers national treasures so that researchers can scrutinize them without handling the originals. So it says, so that researchers can scrutinize. So we don't know if they scrutinized it or not. So in this case, it will be not given. That means because scrutinize is the synonym of damage. So we don't know. It's not mentioned. It's not clear whether they are damaged or not. So in this case, number 3 will be not given. 4 and 5. Fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. People may be able to borrow digital materials from the library. A second benefit is convenience. Once books are converted to digital form, patrons can retrieve them in seconds rather than minutes. Several people can simultaneously read the same book or view the same picture. Clerks are spared the chore of reshelving, and libraries could conceivably use the internet to lend their virtual collections to those who are unable to visit in person. Number 4. Fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. I see nothing here talks about the staff. Although we know it's correct, we cannot decide because we cannot see them with our eyes written here clearly. So it will be not given. 5. People may be able to borrow digital materials from the library. This is true because it says libraries could conceivably use the internet to lend their virtual collections. Then the collections to those who are unable to visit in person. That means those who are unable to visit in person, which means people, can borrow digital materials. Okay. We move to the last 2 statements, 6 and 7. 6 says digital libraries will occupy more space than ordinary libraries. 7. The cost of newly published books will fall. The third advantage of electronic copies is that they occupy millimeters of space. Okay. Digital libraries will occupy more space. And here it says millimeters. That means number 6 will be false. It gives wrong information. 7. The cost of a newly published books will fall. Let's see. Expanding library buildings is increasingly costly. The University of California at Berkeley recently spent $46 million on an underground addition to house 1.5 million books, an average cost of $30 per volume. The price of disk storage, in contrast, has fallen to about $2 per 300-page publication and continues to drop. Okay, it says the cost of a newly published books will fall. And here it talks about the price of disk storage. This talks about books. This talks about disks. So, we don't have anything related to books here, and especially newly published books. So in this case, the answer will be not given. Why? Because this talks about CDs, only disks. And this one talks about physical books made of paper. So in this case, number 7 will be not given. We come to the end of our workshop today, which that you got the benefit. Thank you very much. That was Mr. Haidar Qasir with you. Thanks for watching.